Thank you so much for joining us again at the Toon Marketplace. I am Ardeen Seju for Trinity Media, and I have the pleasure this afternoon or today of chatting with a representative of Quest Media based in Paris, France. She is Francine Abassan, and she's the producer and head of acquisitions at Quest Media. Quest Media is a company that specializes in film sales and production. And so we'll be chatting with Francia to get a little bit of a sense of what are some of the things that they're looking for as an acquisition company. Good afternoon, or I should say hello, Francian, and welcome to the Toon Marketplace.
Thank you, Arden. Thank you to having me. Thank you for the invitation.
Of course, it's our pleasure. And I think before we get into the work of your company, the very good work of your company, it'll be useful to hear a little bit about you, Francia, and your background and how you got into this kind of work.
Oh, it's a long journey. I started in animation now, I can say 12 years ago as a producer. I tried, at that time, I tried to produce my first feature animation, 2D animation, a co-production with Senegal, with a studio called Pictoon. And it was a co-production partnership. Eventually, you learn a lot from your mistake, and this project led me to meet new people in animation, directors, writers, and also other studio. And I start to myself invest in production for an animation feature. So it was the first step in, but the first was really the script. I fell in love of a script, of a story, and the fact that the story was ground to Africa was important for me at that time, and still important for me. And it's through this door by production that I entered to the world of animation.
And do you find that there's a lot of content now coming out of regions like Africa and, well, of course, the Caribbean? We have more content and quite a diverse range of content at that. Is that something that your company is particularly interested in, like finding more of those diverse voices?
Yes. Actually, I just create a new entity beside Quest Media, who exists in France since 2006. But now I just create a new entity in Ivory Coast, in my one of my homeland, to co-produce their animation content with partners locally. So we are intent and we are working on collaborate and co-producing project animation feature with other studio based in Africa, Ivory Coast or other country in Africa and outside also of Africa, of the continent. So yes, there are a lot of story who are created in the continent through different creators. I talk to people from Cameroon, from Kenya, from Nigeria, from Ivory Coast, from different parts of Africa, and there is an enormous list of projects who are pitched in different festivals and in different markets. So yes, this is the intention is to move more and more in that direction.
And so, do you have a sense of the African diaspora outside, of course, of Africa and Europe? Like, for instance, in the Caribbean or in the Western Hemisphere, west of the Atlantic Ocean, do you have a sense of the content coming out of like our regions and what you would be interested in hearing from our regions?
I would like to see more. I'm to explain better myself. I'm half Ivoirian and I'm half Guadeloupean, so I'm
Ah,
half Caribbean and half African.
Oh,
So
well, nice to meet you.
nice to meet you too. So I have I have one foot in Africa and one foot on the foot, one foot in the Caribbean. So there is no issue for me, no issue at all. And there is a studio in Guadeloupe and Martinique. There is talented creators in those part of of the Caribbean, and I would like to see maybe the universe. We have a lot of legend also who are not so much tell. I think in animation, legend from Caribs. Uh, um, the I would like to hear more maybe stories about that. I like everything around magic, everything around um, uh, um, sometimes a little bit scary story.
Ah,
So I would like to feel that in the story I can hear or the
so more
project I can
fantasy,
see. Yeah,
more
fantasy.
fantasy, right?
I like the secrets,
Mm.
secret stories. I love that. So it's a part also of my culture when I was young, when I was a young child, and I hear story about don't go there because it's a place where you have forbidden stone. So it was like all a universe really not exploited. I think enough in animation. So I would like to see that, but I would like also to see um, contemporary stories, act, also not only legend and fairy tale, but in those place, but also contemporary story grounded to the what's going on in the Caribbean now in terms of animation to connect with the actual actual time. So it would be great to also to see that because it's not tell enough. I saw a short who was co-produced by France Télévisions through a director from Martinique, and it was really interesting because it was a little girl who visit a family during the holidays in Martinique, and she met a young boy who explained to her the legend, and she didn't believe the legend, and she said no, this is not true, and finally they lost in a little forest, and she started to believe in the legend. So but it's grounded to our time. You know, she's a young 13-year-old, and she's like stubborn with her father, and she didn't want to hear anything about the she's not happy even to come to in holidays in Martinique. So it was funny to see how they connect all that in an animation.
How do you find, oh, I should ask, what kinds of content do you find landing with your audiences strongly? You know, what are people really interested in? What do you think there is an appetite for?
Actually, contemporary story is actually the thing. Also, more they ask always more diverse characters. Also, um, a target of the age group is important. Actually, it's more around 8 to 10 or preschool
Ah,
focus.
So
So
targeting more children's content is what
yes,
you're thinking
yes,
of. Okay.
yes. There is a, and in the other side also, but is a completely different, maybe buyer at the end. Uh, some of them looking for also adult content, but it's not the same. The film will not end it in the same screen. So you have this, but more the focus is more on young children, preschool and 8 to 10.
And do you think the pandemic has caused any shifts at all in terms of how much content is being consumed? Well, we've seen the figures, right? We know that people are consuming more because people have been spending so much more time at home, and there's so many, or there were so many restrictions for a period of time as to what people could do. Do you have a sense that people are just willing to try new things, or maybe just think outside of the box in ways that they didn't before?
I think during the pandemic, the animation sector never stopped because animators was working from home. So it was one of the industry who never stopped during the pandemic, never stopped to work, never stopped to produce, never stopped to create. The pipeline of delivery didn't stop, and the needs is really important. The needs of content is really important. So no, the actually yes, you have more and more creativity than ever. um, Even creators, some animators, they was working on their old project. They have on the side to rework on that and show it. So no, it was intense and it's still intense in terms of delivery, in terms of production. No, no low, no low, no low work on that part. No, it's still
Right.
high, and a lot of project was shown during this period. So no, it was
Fantastic.
really prolific in terms of creativity and production.
So, given that there's so much to choose from, what would you say are some of the things that you really look for and that distinguish one film or one animation from another?
The story, the story for me is so important. If I'm attached to the story, can move forward. Yes, the story is the base of everything. After, yes, the technique used, the artistic way, the who will direct, all these elements. But the first is the story first, and
One, go ahead, go ahead.
no, and is the first step of everything. The story is the first stone, the first step, the first everything. After, yes, we can discuss about what type 2D, 3D.
What in particular about the story is most important to you?
In case of animation, feature animation, you have certain rules to respect. You cannot exceed a number of page. You to be surprised, to be amazed, to be you want to see the next page and the next page. You you want to laugh. You if it's a comedy, you want to laugh. If it's a little bit drama, you want to be touched. You want to be moved by the story. So it's all those. This is magic. You want to see the magic. You want to read that. If you have a story about adventure, you want to be captivated by the adventure that the story. The story need to be full of elements who give you the what I said the envy to see the film on screen. So This is all these elements who count for me. The story first.
One of the things I found compelling about your company's profile is the idea that you're committed to working with filmmakers and creators hand in hand. And so I'm curious about the kind of guidance that you would offer people who come on board with you.
I'm I'm not an animator myself, so I surround myself with people who can be expert and who can give the right tips and the right advice. Um, for me, if I actually I will co-produce a feature animation with a studio in Ivory Coast. The studio is young. There are not a lot of animators. So for me, the key is also collaboration. So collaboration is important. So I have with my network, I have expert in animation, directors. I work actually also on other feature already on the pipeline. So for me, is a transmission, is to have the best advice for to move forward and to change the steps. So surrounding ourselves with people who have the knowledge and who can help in the project. And it's like that I work. Collaboration, always. Collaboration.
I think that's one of the key words for people who work in the creative sector, not so collaboration. It's so important to all of us.
Mhm.
And I didn't ask you this before, but just to go back to the question of your African audiences, I am wondering whether you have a sense of the extent to which they are familiar with stories from the Caribbean, and do you think there would be interest in acquiring more work from the Caribbean, and is that something you see yourself being able to do, like connect the diaspora with the Africa mainland, for instance, and vice versa?
It will be so great because we have the same roots. We have the same roots. We are in the Caribbean, we are in Africa, we are in Europe. The diaspora is everywhere in the world. But between Caribbean and Africa, the roots is clear. I mean, and to see this bridge shown and shine, it will be so great. Into animation project, yeah, of course, it will be so great. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the possibility, all the possibility? Because during a long time, there, there was like a separation. Caribbean was on the side, Africa is on another side, and to see creators collaborate and connect to their roots also through stories. I mean, the sky is the limit. Is incredible if this kind of collaboration can be done. Yes, and I'm 100% for it, and I will do all I can do to do it. So no, it's important because the story we have the same, if I can say, the same bone, the same bone of the same roots of stories. We know that some also cultural elements, traditional elements from Africa, you can also see them and recognize them in the Caribbean, even in the traditional way to dance. So for the culture of Groka, for example, in Guadeloupe and Martinique, you have the Groka, and the Groka is a dance, a special dance, a dance by the slave at that time. And after the period of slave, you have this also during the colonization. So, and now is part of our culture. This dance is part of our culture. So, yes, I think it will be incredible to have stories who can connect both sides, Africa and Caribbean. Yes, completely.
That's brilliant. Thank you
Completely.
very much. And you don't see language being a barrier at all, do you?
No, 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 no. Even we don't speak like me a good English. um, no, I think that if for start we are agree that what will be the language for the project and what is the best way to have this project launched internationally. No, it's just to be agreed on the terms to start, to be agreed on, okay, how we can see this project outside and internationally to be seen by every the most of people possible. So it's just to be agree on the terms and to be agree on the vision of the project at the beginning. After that, no, the language is not an issue, and specifically with animation, the language is not an issue. You can, you
Fantastic.
can, you can dub, and no, it's not an issue. The thing is to be agree on what the story could be for both parties, for the creators, for the production, for all the team. What the story could be, the best link between our two worlds, our two different place, Africa and Caribbean. Yes.
Francian, thank you so very much. I think that was very
Thank you.
helpful. I think
Thank
that the
you.
insights you shared would be very valuable for our Caribbean content creators and studios. And of course, you occupy a very unique position being where you are in France and working with the audiences you're working with. I think that that should be very interesting for our people here in this region. So thank you so much and all the best. And we look forward maybe to seeing some really good work, not just coming from you, but through you, through the Quest Media
Thank
company
you.
based in
I
France.
can't wait. I can't wait to see all those projects and to hear the pitch and to see the pitch also. Thank you to having me. Thank you.
Yes, of course. It's our pleasure.